What if the most celebrated romance in modern Hollywood history was nothing more than a highly coordinated, cold-blooded psychological operation? What if the glossy magazine covers, the perfectly timed red carpet appearances, and the public displays of affection were just a calculated smokescreen? Tonight, the Hollywood fantasy is officially dead. The carefully manufactured facade of the industry's ultimate golden boy has been completely incinerated, and the person holding the flamethrower is none other than the industry's undisputed truth detonator, Katt Williams. In a live stream that has completely paralyzed servers across the globe, Katt did not just drop a rumor. He dropped a thermonuclear bomb of absolute reality that has left Lori Harvey utterly shattered and trapped in the ruins of her own life. We are not talking about a simple case of cheating. We are talking about a brutal, calculated public erasure. ABC News, TMZ, and the Law and Crime Network are scrambling right now as we speak because the sealed files have leaked. The architecture of a multi-year deception has been laid entirely bare. Michael B. Jordan did not betray Lori Harvey in the dark. He betrayed her in the glaring, unforgiving light of day. He did it boldly, without consequence, and with one specific woman standing directly at the center of the wreckage, Teyanataylor. For the next few minutes, clear your schedule and lock your doors, because we are about to dissect the dark, hidden blueprint of how Hollywood's most clinical player weaponized a woman's deepest insecurities to build a quiet kingdom, while Lori Harvey watched her entire world fracture in real time. A sudden violent crack of thunder instantly followed by a metallic door slam, plunging the audio into a deep, throbbing, anxious heartbeat baseline. Let us strip away the public relations paint and look directly at the raw mechanics of this disaster. For years, the mainstream entertainment media fed the public a very specific, highly sterilized narrative. They sold us Michael B. Jordan as the ultimate Hollywood gentleman. They presented him as the patient, grounding force who finally tamed the untouchable, ultra-elite socialite Lori Harvey. Every single magazine spread was curated to look like a modern fairy tale. But according to the definitive truth established by Katt Williams, that entire narrative was a deliberate illusion. It was an elaborate PR defense mechanism designed to hide a cutthroat power dynamic. The controversy here is not just that a high-profile celebrity couple broke up. The true scandal lies in the sinister, calculated method of how the relationship was dismantled from the inside out. We now know that Michael B. Jordan was never standing beside Lori Harvey as an equal partner. He was positioning himself. He was treating the entire relationship like a strategic corporate takeover. He systematically targeted Lori Harvey's deepest, most private emotional vulnerabilities. He identified her profound fear of being publicly replaced, her anxieties about time, and her desperate need to maintain the ultimate cool relationship in the eyes of pop culture. And who was the primary weapon used to execute this psychological strategy? The one and only Teyanataylor. This is where the polished, clean-cut image of the Creed star completely disintegrates into pure controversy. We are not dealing with a standard, cliché Hollywood mistake here. This is an elite-level, clinical operation where Teyanataylor was brought into the matrix to completely shift the power dynamic away from Lori Harvey. The past incidents of Michael's pristine public image now look incredibly suspicious. The industry has spent millions of dollars buried deep in non-disclosure agreements and ironclad management contracts just to keep this specific brand of chaos under wraps. The public believed Michael was the steady anchor while Lori was the flight risk. But the reality is far more twisted. Michael used Lori's massive cultural capital and her family's legendary empire to solidify his own status, all while laying the groundwork for a brutal public transition over to Teyanataylor. A sharp metallic audio slice. The sound of a film projector rapidly burning up and snapping. The depth of this betrayal is unprecedented because of how brazen it was. Traditional Hollywood cheaters hide in the shadows of exclusive boutique hotels or communicate through heavily encrypted burner applications. Not Michael B. Jordan. He weaponized the concept of hiding in plain sight. He walked into rooms with Teyanataylor, engaged in highly charged public interactions, and left Lori Harvey to completely freeze in her tracks, trapped by her own terror of causing a public scene that would damage her immaculate brand. This dynamic did not develop overnight. According to deep industry insiders who have finally broken their silence following Katt Williams' explosive stream, the setup began during the peak of Michael's directorial debut. He realized that to maintain absolute dominance in the Hollywood hierarchy, he needed to project an image of total security, while ensuring that Lori remained perpetually off balance. He curated scenarios where Lori would feel increasingly isolated, forcing her to rely more on his validation. At the exact same time, Teyana was entering a new phase of her own career, moving through the same elite circles with a level of confidence and raw star power that Lori found deeply intimidating. Michael recognized this specific friction and immediately capitalized on it. He began orchestrating professional meetings that quickly crossed over into highly personal territories, always ensuring that documentation of these encounters remained strictly classified under the guise of industry collaborations. Lori's inner circle reportedly noticed a severe shift in her demeanor during this period. The woman who once controlled every room she walked into was suddenly second-guessing her choices, her style, and her worth. This was the precise psychological environment that Michael needed to cultivate. By making Lori feel that her position as his partner was a privilege that could be revoked at any moment, he effectively silenced her ability to set boundaries. When Teyana officially entered the inner circle, the power shift was instantaneous. Michael began openly praising Teyana's artistic vision and her unbothered attitude in front of Lori, subtly contrasting it with Lori's meticulous, high-maintenance public persona. This was not accidental commentary. It was a deliberate technique designed to make Lori feel outdated and expendable. The psychological weight of this comparison began to fracture Lori's self-esteem from the inside out. A low, echoing sub-bass hit that lingers in the background, mimicking a state of constant anxiety. The strategy expanded into the financial and branding sectors of their relationship. Sources indicate that Michael's management team actively advised him to begin decoupling his brand from the Harvey family empire months before any public announcement was made. They saw the writing on the wall because they were the ones drafting the script. They knew that once Teyana was fully integrated into Michael's personal space, the relationship with Lori would reach an engineered breaking point. Yet, despite the mounting evidence and the cold atmosphere developing within her own home, Lori remained trapped in a cycle of denial. She believed that if she just maintained her composure, if she played the role of the supportive, unbothered partner perfectly, she could ride out the storm. She did not realize that the storm was not a natural disaster. It was a controlled demolition designed to leave her completely stranded, while Michael and Teyana sailed away on the wreckage. This brings us to the hidden role of the mainstream media in protecting this illusion. Major entertainment outlets were repeatedly handed exclusive, pre-written narratives by Michael's PR machinery to keep the public focused on empty romantic gestures. While the public was obsessing over expensive Valentine's Day gifts and tropical vacations, the actual reality involving Teyana was being aggressively suppressed through legal threats and high-stakes industry leverage. Katt Williams highlighted this specific media corruption during his live stream, pointing out that the glossy magazines are effectively functioning as protection rackets for elite talent. They knew about the late-night studio sessions between Michael and Teyana. They knew about the shared flights and the coordinated schedules. But they chose to print the fairy tale because the fairy tale was highly profitable, and the truth was far too dangerous for the status quo. The betrayal becomes even more malicious when you analyze the chronological timeline of events. While Lori was publicly defending Michael against various industry rumors, Michael was allegedly using those exact moments of public loyalty to advance his positioning with Teyana. He knew that Lori's high-profile defense would shield him from suspicion, giving him the perfect cover to operate without limits or consequence. This was the state of play just before the entire structure came crashing down. Lori Harvey was living in a manufactured reality, surrounded by luxury but completely starved of genuine security, while Michael.Jordan and Teyana were moving with absolute freedom, completely unbothered by the emotional devastation they were preparing to unleash upon the world. The audio completely cuts out for 1 second of dead silence, followed by the heavy mechanical sound of an vault door unlocking. As we transition into the raw data and the specific investigative findings that have leaked directly from the legal vaults, the narrative shifts from emotional manipulation to total institutional warfare. The files that Katt Williams exposed on his screen were not mere text messages or casual notes. They were comprehensive, multi-layered dossiers compiled by high-level corporate security firms, detailing every single move made behind closed doors. These documents reveal that Michael B. Jordan had established a secondary, Completely private infrastructure designed specifically to facilitate his interactions with Teyanataylor without alerting Lori's personal security detail. We are talking about private transport logs, encrypted communication servers, and non-disclosure agreements forced upon domestic staff who witnessed the reality of what was occurring inside the properties Lori believed were sacred sanctuaries. The level of planning involved in this operation defies the standard logic of celebrity affairs. This was a systematic effort to ensure that when the public fracture finally occurred, Michael would emerge completely unscathed, while Lori would be left looking like the unstable partner who simply couldn't hold on to Hollywood's most desirable bachelor. The coldness of this calculation is what has turned this entire scenario from a standard piece of gossip into an absolute crime against emotional decency. Now, as the forensic printer begins to churn out the exact details of the leaked reports and the anonymous testimonies that have paralyzed the major networks, we prepare to look directly into the heart of the scandal breakdown, where the illusions vanish and the terrifying reality of the hot tub incident is laid bare for the entire world to see. Now let us dive directly into the absolute reality of what Katt Williams uncovered during that historic live stream, picking up exactly where the leaked legal files leave off. This is the precise breakdown that the major networks are trying to make sense of right now. Katt did not just stand in front of a camera and talk. He presented concrete, unedited, undeniable receipts that have left the entire entertainment industry in a state of absolute paralysis. First, let us look at the highly explosive, leaked legal correspondence that Katt displayed on screen. These unredacted documents prove that the very second the breakup was finalized, Michael B. Jordan's legal defense team didn't move to protect the relationship or seek a quiet, amicable resolution. Instead, they moved with clinical, terrifying speed to execute a pre-packaged media strategy. They immediately filed paperwork to insulate Michael's corporate sponsorships, his studio deals, and his clean-cut Hollywood standing. It was a complete scorched earth policy designed to leave Harvey holding the entire blame for the emotional fallout. But the most disturbing, undeniable proof of this breakdown centers entirely around the now infamous hot tub incident involving Teyanataylor. This is the exact moment that has sent shockwaves through every single digital corner of the internet. According to the direct eyewitness testimony brought forward by Katt, this was not a casual hangout among industry peers. It was an act of psychological dominance. The setting was an exclusive, high-security private estate during freezing winter weather. The temperature outside was dropping into the negatives. Yet, Teyanataylor appeared draped in nothing but a highly provocative sheer lace bodysuit. She didn't just join the gathering. She dominated the space, sitting directly in the steaming hot tub with an incredibly bold, unbothered posture. And right there, completely locked in her line of sight, was Michael B. Jordan. He wasn't looking away. He wasn't trying to minimize the tension. He was staring directly at Teyanataylor with absolute, undeniable intent. SFX. A sudden sharp gasp audio effect layered with the chilling sound of ice cracking open. And where was Harvey during this entire display? She was standing right there. She was a direct witness to her own public replacement. She was trapped in a living nightmare, watching Teyanataylor lean directly into Michael's personal space. Lori's face completely froze. The entire room became an absolute vacuum of silence. Because of her intense, deep-seated insecurity, Lori did not scream. She did not start a fight. She chose to endure the humiliation, pretending to the rest of the elite crowd that everything was perfectly fine, just to protect the illusion of her relationship. The leaked records go even deeper into this systematic disrespect. The data tracks an unbelievable level of bold behavior. Michael was routinely using Lori's own high-end luxury vehicles, with her family staff fully aware, to personally pick up Teyanataylor. He was driving around with Teyanataylor while Lori remained completely isolated in her vast, hollow mansion, entirely unaware of how far the boundaries had been pushed. When these specific details hit the livestream chat, the public reaction was an immediate chaotic explosion. The comment sections across TikTok, X, and Instagram didn't just react. They went into a state of absolute hysteria. Millions of viewers watched the stream freeze as the sheer volume of traffic broke the platform's infrastructure. One highly upvoted comment read that Harvey really thought she was the ultimate prize in Hollywood, but Michael and Teyanataylor completely rewrote the rules right in front of her face. This comment stressed that the entire situation was pure psychological manipulation, Another viral reaction stated that Harvey tried to warn everyone because she knew exactly what kind of game Michael was playing, but the media made her look crazy. This user pointed out that this man literally brought Teyanataylor into the picture and made Lori watch her own erasure. The internet has split entirely in two. On one side, you have fans who are absolutely disgusted by the sheer coldness of Michael's actions. They are calling out the clinical nature of how he used Lori's platform to elevate his own career, only to discard her for Teyanataylor the moment he secured his position at the top tier of the industry. On the other side, an entirely different camp of commentators is dissecting the dark reality of modern relationships, arguing that Lori's own deep insecurities created the exact vulnerability that Michael and Teyanataylor exploited. To truly understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we have to look at the financial transaction records that Katt Williams flashed during the stream. These were not minor charges for dinners or standard gifts. The ledger showed massive six-figure wire transfers routed through anonymous shell corporations, directly tied to the acquisition of a luxury penthouse in West Hollywood. The occupant listed on the private registration documents was none other than Teyanataylor. This means that while Michael was publicly walking hand in hand with Lori at major industry events, he was simultaneously funding a parallel lifestyle for Teyana. This apartment was not just a residential property. It served as the operational headquarters for their private meetings. It was entirely detached from the Hollywood grid, equipped with independent security that answered only to Michael's private handlers. Furthermore, anonymous sources from within the security team have leaked audio logs of conversations that took place outside that very penthouse. In these recordings, Michael can be heard openly mocking the strict public relations rules imposed by the Harvey family. He referred to his relationship with Lori as a business internship that he was rapidly outgrowing. He spoke about Teyana as his true match, someone who possessed the artistic edge and industry respect that Lori could never buy with her family's wealth. A low metallic clanging sound, like heavy chains dropping onto a concrete floor. The level of coordination between Michael and Teyanataylor to pull this off under the nose of the paparazzi is nothing short of breathtaking. They utilized a technique known in elite circles as the decoy protocol. Michael would intentionally arrange a high-profile public outing with Lori, ensuring that every major photographer in Los Angeles was stationed outside a specific restaurant. Once the cameras were locked in place, Teyanataylor would slip out of the back exit of Michael's studio, completely undetected, traveling in a vehicle registered to a low-level production assistant. This allowed them to maintain their connection with zero digital or physical footprint. Lori was completely weaponized as an unsuspecting shield. She thought she was being celebrated as the center of his universe, when in reality, she was merely the distraction that allowed Michael and Teyana to operate with absolute impunity. The sheer audacity of using a partner as a human camouflage screen is what has left the public utterly paralyzed with disbelief. We must also analyze the psychological impact this had on Lori during the final weeks of the relationship. Friends close to the socialite have reported that she began to notice a pattern of missing time. Michael would disappear for 12 to 16 hours at a time, claiming to be locked in intense post-production meetings for his films. When Lori would call the studio, she was met with a wall of silence from executives who had been strictly instructed to protect Michael's schedule at all costs. When Lori finally confronted him with suspicious text messages she discovered on an iPad synced to his account, Michael didn't apologize. He allegedly turned the tables on her, using a highly sophisticated form of emotional gaslighting. He told her that her constant suspicion was a reflection of her own internal insecurities, and that if she couldn't trust a man of his stature, she wasn't ready to marry a Hollywood kingpin. This response completely broke Lori's confidence, causing her to back down and apologize for even questioning his loyalty. The sound of a glass shattering in ultra-slow motion, each fragment echoing as it hits the floor. But the ultimate validation of this nightmare came from Harvey herself. The unsealed documents show that Marjorie had hired her own independent private investigators to shadow Michael, after she noticed a sudden drop in his financial contributions to a shared charitable foundation. What her investigators brought back was a file so explosive it could have brought down the entire management agency representing Michael. The file contained high-definition photography of Michael and Teyanataylor at a remote resort in Cabo, taken during a weekend when Michael had told Lori he was attending an emergency screenwriting retreat. When Marjorie presented this undeniable evidence to Lori, a massive family intervention took place behind the closed gates of the Harvey estate. But Michael's hold over Lori was so absolute, and her fear of the public humiliation of a failed high-profile relationship was so severe, that she begged her mother to destroy the files. Lori chose the illusion over the truth. She believed that she could outlast Teyanataylor. She convinced herself that if she gave Michael more freedom, if she became the ultimate, non-demanding, ultra-supportive partner, he would eventually tire of the secret lifestyle and return to her completely. She did not realize that Michael and Teyana were already planning the final phase of her public replacement. As this section of the breakdown reaches its peak, the public reaction has crossed into a territory of pure hostility. The internet is no longer just commenting. They are demanding a total boycott of Michael's upcoming cinematic projects. The image of the wholesome, disciplined, respectable actor has been completely replaced by the image of a cold-blooded emotional predator who systematically dismantled a woman's soul. A sudden deafening siren blast that completely overtakes the audio track before dropping back into a tense, low-frequency rumble. Now, as the narrative shifts from the internal mechanics of the deception to the catastrophic external consequences, we watch the dominoes begin to fall on a global scale. The fallout is no longer contained within the borders of celebrity gossip columns. The legal networks, the corporate boardrooms, and the international distribution houses are stepping into the arena, ready to execute a complete financial and professional purge that will change the landscape of Hollywood forever. The shockwave from this specific revelation has officially moved past the world of standard celebrity gossip and entered the realm of major professional and financial devastation. This is no longer just about a broken heart. This is about a total structural collapse for the Michael B. Jordan brand. The fallout from Katt Williams' stream is hitting his team where it hurts the most. Their bottom line. Right now, behind closed doors, major corporate sponsors and global athletic brands are holding emergency meetings. According to internal industry sources, multiple high-profile, multi-million-dollar endorsement deals are currently on life support. Brands that built their entire marketing campaigns around Michael's clean, family-friendly, high-integrity image are panic-stricken. They cannot have their products associated with the clinical, cutthroat psychological warfare exposed in these leaked documents. Furthermore, the Law and Crime Network has noted that the unauthorized leakage of these highly sensitive, sealed legal files is triggering a massive internal investigation. Michael's high-priced legal team is scrambling to issue cease and desist orders across the internet, desperate to scrub the footage of the hot tub details and the vehicle logs involving Teyanataylor. But the damage is done. You cannot recall a bullet once it has been fired. The internet has already archived every single second of Katt's stream, a heavy, deep echoing thud, simulating a corporate gavel slamming down. Inside the Harvey empire, the reaction has been a silent but incredibly lethal counter-operation. Marjorie Harvey and her elite security and public relations team have completely cut off all diplomatic channels. They are no longer protecting Michael's reputation. The quiet protection that Lori's massive family influence provided has been permanently revoked. The physical consequences are visible. Look at the recent sightings of Lori Harvey. The glossy, confident aura is completely gone. She is seen surrounded by heavy security, looking visibly drained, navigating the ruins of a self-identity that fractured the moment she realized the entire world now knows the truth about Michael and Teyanataylor. The psychological warfare has now spilled over into the fandoms, causing a massive cultural civil war. Couples are literally arguing in the comment sections over the boundaries of a relationship. The infamous statement that Michael allegedly delivered to Lori after the breakup has become a viral talking point of pure toxic discourse. When he told her that she let him see Teyanataylor while they were together, so why was she mad now? He didn't just break Lori's spirit. He challenged the entire concept of modern commitment by stating she never gave him rules. This singular line has alienated millions of female fans who previously viewed him as the ultimate standard of an industry partner. The damage has extended deep into Hollywood's production boardrooms. Major studio executives are quietly discussing the viability of Michael's upcoming directorial projects. Internal memos leak indicating that certain high-budget franchises are considering delaying production schedules. They are terrified that the public backlash regarding the exploitation of Lori and the hidden partnership with Teyanataylor will lead to a massive box office boycott. At the same time, Teyana legal representatives are working overtime to contain the narrative. They are releasing heavily crafted statements trying to distance her from the psychological manipulation aspect of the scandal. They are claiming that Teyana was under the impression that the relationship between Michael and Lori had been completely dissolved months before the hot tub incident occurred. But the leaked wire transfers and the West Hollywood penthouse registration entirely contradict this defense strategy. Public multimedia platforms are experiencing unprecedented traffic as independent analysts dissect the leaked legal logs frame by frame. Every single red carpet appearance from the last 2 years is being re-examined under a forensic lens. Viewers are pointing out the exact moments where Michael's body language shifted away from Lori, matching the dates of his verified meetings with Teyana. The fallout has also triggered an unprecedented crisis within the elite public relations firm that managed both stars. Multiple top-tier agents have reportedly resigned in protest after discovering that senior management was actively helping Michael conceal his parallel lifestyle from Lori. The agency is facing potential breach of contract lawsuits from the Harvey family for failing to maintain fiduciary duties. A cold, mechanical metallic click, followed by the sound of a fading heartbeat monitor. As the dust begins to settle on the corporate and legal battlegrounds, the emotional reality of the situation remains devastatingly clear. The architecture of this entire relationship was built on a foundation of fear, uneven power, and endless emotional compromise. Michael.Jordan weaponized every single fault line in Lori's confidence until the entire structure came crashing down around her, leaving him and Teyanataylor to stand in the ruins of a Hollywood fairy tale that never truly existed. This brings us to the ultimate realization of how deeply the public was deceived by this narrative. The pristine, untouched image of Hollywood's golden couple was nothing more than a profitable commodity used to extract cultural relevance, while the dark, cold reality of control and erasure was played out behind closed doors. The narrative shift is now permanent. No amount of clean public relations campaigns, high-budget apology tours, or curated magazine profiles can erase the digital footprint of the receipts Katt Williams detonated on the internet. The illusion of safety in the elite circles of entertainment has vanished, leaving behind a stark warning about the true cost of choosing endurance over honesty in the glaring light of the public eye. The dramatic, pulsing music swells to its absolute peak. Neon graphics of warning signs flash rapidly on the screen before everything slows down to a heavy, focused tempo. This is the definitive turning point for Hollywood culture. The grand illusion has been permanently shattered. Michael.Jordan's carefully constructed kingdom is actively coming down. Teyanataylor is standing firmly in the center of the controversy, and Lori Harvey is left to pick up the pieces of a life built on emotional compromise. Katt Williams did not just break the internet. He completely re-educated the public on how the elite truly operate behind closed doors. But now I want to hear directly from you. The comment section is about to absolutely detonate, and your voice needs to be a part of this breakdown. Do you believe Michael.Jordan is a clinical mastermind who completely exploited Lori Harvey's deepest insecurities? Or do you think Lori's own fear of losing him ultimately created the trap she fell into? And what is your honest take on Teyanataylor's bold role in this entire hot tub scenario? Was she just playing the Hollywood game? Or was this a deliberate act of public disrespect? Drop your thoughts in the comments below right now. Do not hold back. Let us completely break down this reality together. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and receive the raw, unedited truth that the mainstream glossy magazines are completely terrified to print, make sure you smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single second of our deep dive forensic investigations. The veil has been ripped away, and we are not stopping until every single hidden script in Hollywood is exposed. Stay locked in. This is the definitive turning point for modern Hollywood culture. The grand illusion has been permanently shattered. Michael.Jordan's carefully constructed kingdom is actively sliding into absolute ruin. Teyanataylor stands firmly at the center of the crossfire, and Lori Harvey is left to navigate the wreckage of a life built on silent endurance. Katt Williams did not just break the internet. He completely re-educated the world on how the elite truly operate when the cameras stop rolling. But now the ultimate question turns directly to you, the jury of the internet. The comment section is about to absolutely detonate, and your perspective is vital to this forensic breakdown. Do you believe Michael B. Jordan is a clinical mastermind who completely weaponized Lori Harvey's deepest emotional vulnerabilities? Or do you think Lori's own intense fear of losing him ultimately created the exact trap she fell into? And what is your honest take on Teyanataylor's bold presence in this entire hot tub scenario? Was she simply navigating the cutthroat Hollywood landscape, or was this a highly deliberate act of public disrespect? Drop your theories in the comments section below right now. Do not hold back a single thought. Let us completely dissect this reality together. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and receive the raw truth that mainstream media outlets are terrified to print, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel immediately and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single second of our deep dive forensic investigations. The veil has been ripped away, and we are not stopping until every single hidden script in Hollywood is fully exposed. Stay locked in.